How many words should you write each day? That's the topic I'm addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, the Publication Coach. I have a question from Chris Johnson, a writer based in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here's what he's asked via email. I'm working on a book and I'm wondering if you suggest I aim to write X number of words each day. And if that's the case, how much should X be? Or do you think it's better to spend X amount of time writing? And if I do that, how much time should that be? Or do you have some other way of approaching this issue? Thanks for your question, Chris. Many writers benefit from having a goal like this, either a word count or a specific amount of time. But the goal is going to be very different for each individual. There is no one-size-fits-all. The answer really depends on you, not what I tell you to do. Consider the history of some other famous authors. For example, did you know that Ernest Hemingway always tried to write 500 words a day? Mark Twain, on the other hand, aimed at 1,400 words. Vampire Chronicles writer Anne Rice aims at 3,000 words per day. And the late prolific writer Michael Crichton, author of Jurassic Park and the Andromeda Strain, accomplished a remarkable 10,000 words per day. Below, I include a link to a blog post outlining the daily word counts of 39 famous writers. Note the huge variation. The issue is like height, or head size, or arm length. Some of us are born writing quickly, and others of us are born writing far more slowly. In fact, the speed doesn't matter. But yes, set yourself a goal. Just make sure that it's a really easy goal for you. Why? Because you want to be sure you succeed. Let me tell you a story. When I wrote my most recent book, Your Happy First Draft, I had a daily goal of writing 500 words, and I did it in 30 minutes a day. Once I finished my rough draft, however, and spent many months editing it, I realized I needed to write 2 more chapters. But I hadn't done any writing on the book for more than 6 months. So guess what? I'd lost my conditioning. I tried to write 500 words a day, but at this point, I just couldn't do it. As a result, I started to procrastinate about writing, something I hadn't done in years. I took a look at my situation and decided on a radical solution. I cut my word count goal in half. Instead of trying to write 500 words a day, I decided I only needed to write 250. All of a sudden, writing became easy again, and my procrastination disappeared, pop, like a soap bubble. Many people think they will be happy if they write a good number of words each day, but in fact, the situation works in reverse. When you're happy, you'll be able to write more. I've written a blog post on this topic, and I include a link below. So do some basic arithmetic before you get started. A typical book is somewhere between 70,000 and 80,000 words. If you write just 300 words a day, the length of a medium-sized email, you'll accumulate 70,000 words in 46 weeks, working just 5 days a week. That's less than a year. Did you ever imagine you'd be able to write a book in that length of time? So Chris, I guess my answer to your question is yes. Set a word count goal for yourself. Do give yourself a specific amount of time in which to do this writing and make both of these goals very easy. The most important thing is to show up every day and write a little bit at a time. 300 words is plenty, and a smaller amount is also okay. In terms of time, guard against the notion of spending too much time. That's a way bigger risk than spending too little. I suggest you start with 15 minutes and work up gradually from there. But don't allow yourself to ever exceed 60 minutes because then the job is likely to become too burdensome. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from poet Sylvia Plath. Let me live, love, and say it well in good sentences. Chris, notice how Sylvia Plath said nothing about how many words she was going to write each day. Instead, she talked about getting good sentences and, more importantly, writing in harmony with the rest of her life. Writing is a lifelong habit, and to keep it that way, you need to make sure that your practice is sustainable. If you'd like to learn how to stop procrastinating and make writing a happier, more fulfilling process for you, please take a look at my latest book, your happy first draft. I don't sell it in bookstores or via Amazon. The only place to buy it is on my website, link below.